It is the grand conspiracy. It is the greatest scandal of American history. I just don't think that there's any way around that anymore. Every time I get up in the morning, the first place I go is to see what John Solomon has written overnight and released. He's killing it, I think is the way to put it. The grand conspiracy. The latest bombshell comes from a memo uncovered by Kash Patel detailing the fact that the FBI in D.C., New York, and Little Rock, Arkansas had real cases developed against Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, right? For basically lining her pockets potentially with millions of dollars and shut it down. That's a quote attributed to then Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, demanding the detailed timelines of political impediments be ended. My next guest was inside the swamp for a while. Kendra Wharton, former Associate Deputy Attorney General. So her counterpart at one time would have been Sally Yates. Kendra, thank you for being here. This is just the latest revelation that I find. What you see all of this happening. Adam Schiff, leaking classified information and telling his staff, we're going to do this, we're not going to get caught. James Comey using a professor friend to leak classified information to the New York Times. You've got Clapper and Brennan, McCabe, and Sally Yates as well. This is remarkable. The breadth and width of this scandal to attack one man, to bring down one human being, one guy because they don't like him or he breaks up the party. Maybe that's the problem. Kendra, thank you for being here. Give us your professional opinion on everything you're seeing and are people in harm's way.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's a pleasure to be on today. So this was the first hoax, right? This was the first time they put the entire power of the federal government and the Department of Justice, FBI, to try to get President Trump. You saw what happened down the road. After that didn't work, they didn't get him that way. You had the cases that came down. You had Special Counsel Jack Smith. I was actually I was a senior member of President Trump's legal team. I represented him in the Florida case brought by Jack Smith, as well as the DC case, and then also the New York case brought by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. They kept trying. They clearly didn't get their job done, but it just doesn't stop there.
Let me focus for a moment here on, I started this little thing that I'm doing on the program, Gruber's Most Wanted. I started with Adam Schiff yesterday just because I think the cases are so easy. Adam Schiff leaked classified information intentionally through people, and the whistleblower comes forward and has been telling the FBI this since 2017, most recently in 2023. It didn't go anywhere, which means Christopher Wray is also suspect to me in this. But you've got that, and then you've got mortgage fraud that went on from 2003 to 2019, I believe. Look, Adam Schiff has real legal jeopardy here, doesn't he?
The Department of Justice will get to the bottom of this. And from everything that I'm seeing publicly reported, I am no longer at the Department of Justice, so I don't have any intel there. But from everything I'm seeing, these are very, very serious concerns, allegations. And if they are demonstrated, yes, he is certainly facing legal jeopardy.
Yeah, Adam Schiff got a pardon by way of the auto pen. Doesn't matter. We can debate that on another day. But the pardon that he got was for his work on the J6 committee. It's very narrow. If he was leaking classified information, he's not protected here. And if you're leaking classified information, the statute of limitations goes from 5 years to 10. If you're doing it intentionally, it doubles the statute of limitations. All right, so what about James Comey, working as the director of the FBI, leaking stuff through his professor friend out to the New York Times and who knows who else, and then testifying to Congress he had no knowledge of anything being leaked or anything of any nature. What kind of jeopardy there?
It's quite the double standard. You see, there's this reporting and very serious demonstration of the possibility this whistleblower is very credible. And it seems that while they are leaking classified information on one side to try to damage President Trump, on the other, we have very serious showing evidence demonstrating that the Department of Justice and other agencies throughout the federal government were also withholding very important information from the public through classified documents. You see that with the recent release by DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, when she released the first memo, And then you have the releases by Senator Grassley through the Department of Justice and the FBI. This is part of a concerted effort. And then the Department of Justice is incredibly committed right now to ensuring that we get this information out. There is no national security concern here. And it's really concerning to see the information that has been withheld from the public.
What about this new information about the Clinton Foundation? I don't think this comes to a surprise to anyone who's watched what happened in Haiti, where the Clinton Foundation went in, millions of dollars flowed, and the Haitians say, we didn't get anything. We didn't get anything out of that. Where'd the money go? Well, I think we might have an inkling now where the money went. It went to Bill and Hillary Clinton and their deputies. That's the way it looks from what I'm reading now. That's another problem for the former Secretary of State and the former president, correct?
I mean, look, there's a real concern that they're not the only organization that might be padding their pockets. This is something on the left. They're consistently setting up these organizations. They look so amazing. They're doing all this great work, but yet they're pulling salaries. They're using these perks.
Right.
It's amazing. The left likes to have the upper hand, but on the moral ground, but they always can't pull through on that.
You know, you left the Justice Department, what, in June?
July, actually.
July,
Yeah.
okay. But you were a senior ethics official. I mean, you look at this stuff. You were a senior ethics official. There's no ethics anywhere here, Kendra. These are bottom feeders, self-serving, transactional politicians and grifters. What else am I to make of any of this?
Yeah, that's what I was recruited by my former colleague, now the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, to join the administration on day one. And my goal was to go in and clean things up. There was a small team of us. We had to establish the new leadership at the Department of Justice. And it's a long process, but we hit the ground running. And it is a lot of cleanup. There are many, many battles that are being waged on almost a daily, weekly basis to try to ensure that there is no more weaponization, that the Department of Justice and the attorneys at the department are standing by and zealously advocating for their client, which is the United States of America.
Which is us. I appreciate you being here because you bring a unique perspective because of your experience, for which there is no substitute. Experience, you understand what it looks like on the front lines. I'll give you the last word here of where you think, because here's the real question for a lot of people. Does anybody ever really get held accountable? I actually believe finally that may happen. We might actually see somebody go to prison or 2 or 3. Last word to you.
I trust the people that I worked with at the Department of Justice to do everything they can to run down the truth. And if the truth reveals that there was criminal wrongdoing, people will be held accountable.
Yeah. Kendra Wharton, real honor to have you here. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Really appreciate it. There you have it. Experience, there's no substitute. She knows. I think if I read between the lines there, she thinks something's going to happen, but she doesn't want to hedge her bets. And of course, she has not been gone from the department very long, doesn't want to compromise anybody. Great conversation. Ivy, straight ahead, always a great conversation here on the Steve Gruber Show.